episode of FitzRupee Cast. Red-Rupee here with you, calling the shots for you tonight, and I'd like to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you out there watching tonight. As you can see, my Christmas gift to you is a game of Company of Heroes. I actually had to retake this a couple times because I kept saying Dawn of War 2 Retribution at the beginning of the cast, and that's not what we're doing. Before we get started, though, I want to make a couple quick announcements. First of all, my holiday giveaway. I put this off for a while, and I did it last year. I wanted to do it again this year, but last year I gave away a bunch of Dawn of War 2 DLC and a few copies of Bastion, which was one of my favorite indie games of last year. This year, what I'm offering is kind of the same deal. I've got 3 copies of FTL, which is a really cool space kind of roguelike simulator game, and then I've got a copy of Dawn of War 2 Retribution, because I know some of you that watch don't have it. A lot of you are just tabletop fans that enjoy watching my channel. And maybe there's some Company Heroes guys that might be interested in checking it out. And then, top prize, the grand prize, is a pre-ordered copy of Company of Heroes 2, going to any of you fine viewers who decide to partake in this little competition, courtesy of FitzRupee Cast. All you have to do to enter that competition, hop on over to my Twitter, hop over to my Facebook page, like or follow those, and then just leave a comment as to what you're looking for, whether you want the FTL or whether you're looking for Dawn of War 2. Everyone's going to get put in for the drawing for Company Heroes 2, so don't worry about that. Just stop by my page, leave a comment, and you'll be in for that drawing. That'll go for this week, and I will announce the winner on New Year's Day. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and hop on into the game. Those of you that are familiar with Company Heroes, go ahead, click that button at the bottom. That'll take you to the start of the game. For the meantime, I'm going to elucidate some of the basic mechanics of Company Heroes, because I know a lot of people that play and watch Dawn of War 2 may not be familiar with it. So I'm just going to go over a few basic things right here before we get started. So let's go ahead, take a look around at our map and at the game. Now, Company Heroes 2 has all the same dynamics that, like, all of our favorite Relic RTSs have. They've got the cover-based systems, they've got the dynamic terrain, buildings, garrisons and cover, all that sort of thing. Now, the main difference with map control with Company Heroes, we're going to look at this tactical map here, is that all of your territory that's going to be giving you income has to be connected to your base. So you can't just cap out here and get that high munitions going to your base unless you cap all these connected territories, which leads to a style of map play known as cutoffs and that sort of thing. So if you cut off this territory right here from the red base, they wouldn't be able to get access to any of this out here because they wouldn't be connected. So something to keep in mind as we go through these games. And all of the points have a standard value. They don't grow in requisition over time like in Dawn of War, and you don't build generators or anything like that. You can build observation points, of course, to increase the income, but obviously the key locations are going to be these high munitions and medium fuel out here on the ends of either side of the map. And then it's, of course, a VP game where we have our 3 victory points in the middle. Object, of course, to get your opponent down to nothing. There's a bit of base building, but it's pretty minimalistic. There's 4 buildings for either side, and they're each a single tier, so you can really kind of keep track of that. So this map's kind of laney. You can see, if you look on the map itself is kind of divided by these small little rivers and creeks that are going through on this flooded plains maps. And the medium fuels, the important tech resource, of course, are out in these red cover zones in the water. So not only are you in this game more exposed to taking damage while capping, but these points particularly are hard to get out to, and then you're very exposed once you're out there. So you have to kind of make sure the area is clear before you can cap it all. Anyways, other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward. I'll be going through more as the game progresses. So anyways, your main resources are manpower, which is like requisition, and fuel, which is like your power, your tech resource, for teching up and getting vehicles and things like that on the field. And then you have your commander points, which unlock global abilities, and munitions, which, since nothing has energy in this game, all of your offensive or ammo-based abilities and things like that are all going to be pulling out of your munitions, and most war gear upgrades as well. Anyways, let's go ahead, get started with this game. Our 2 players tonight are PanzerGrenadier1942 as the Americans and WMDspanky as the Wehrmacht forces. So, unfortunately, one other thing to note before we get started is that being an older game, the replay system for Company of Heroes isn't quite as advanced as Dawn of War 2. We can only actually specifically follow the resources and units of one player at a time as we get started here. I've seen some other casts. I think Frontline Network has a mod or something like that where they can see the resources for both, but that may be done post-edit. I don't think I can actually get that going, and I'm not going to go too in-depth into my Company Heroes editing right now, as the sequel will be coming shortly, and I'm intending to be doing some casting on that. Anyways, we've got a triple engineer start going for a barracks for the American player. That's going to give him some good, quick, early map control. He's going straight for this fuel point, which I mentioned earlier is very difficult to cap or decap once the game gets going, as it is so very exposed in this negative cover. Red cover in this game actually makes you more exposed. I don't think there's any red cover in Dawn of War 2. It's only just defensive, not nothing negative like that. Anyways, we'll be seeing rifles coming out for the Americans, which are your basic warhorse kind of unit. They run around and do pretty much all the brunt of your major frontline fighting. In the meantime, the Wehrmacht player has a couple Pyos on the field, some Volks Grenadiers, and his Wehrmacht quarters is in fact up, of course, so we're going to be seeing either some snipers or MGs here shortly, I'd almost guarantee. So the American player getting some rifles. Everyone's just back capping all of their kind of ancillary resource points, getting their back line capped up. As I mentioned, you can't really run out into the middle of the field and capture everything like you can in Dawn of War. And notice the players aren't really struggling for the VPs right away. They're going for their resources first. And if you look as this first American VP has been captured, if you watch up top, the VPs actually tick a good deal slower than they do in Dawn of War, whereas in Dawn of War they tick pretty much on the second. It's about every 3 or 4 for Company of Heroes, so the games tend to last a good deal longer, and the VPs in the early game, in these initial stages, aren't as much of a stress. So anyways, we can see engineers building some sandbags right here to engage these pioneers. That'll allow them to keep this point while standing in green cover. And actually, you can see the same thing over here. In Company of Heroes, both players have access to like these on-the-field defensive structures and things like that. Most prevalently, we'll be seeing probably lots of mine placement, maybe some barbed wire and sandbags, that sort of thing. That kind of thing was kind of only available for Imperial Guard in Dawn of War 2. Both sides have access to that in this game. So we tend to see a lot more of that kind of play early on. We've got a Jeep on the field for the Americans. As this first engagement kind of goes down here in the center, American loses that pretty hard. Doesn't take out any models, but loses several units of his own. All but one rifle and an engineer. That's not a good engagement for that. Meanwhile, the Wehrmacht player looks like they're going to be in a good position right now. 2 Volks on the field, which are their basic ranged units. Of course, there's no force melee in this game. I might add 2, in case you see an MG later on and wonder why it's not tied up. I had to remind myself of that at some point when I started playing Company of Heroes again. I kept trying to melee MG squads to keep them from firing, but you can't do that in this game. Jeep moves in, starts getting a little harassment on these Volks Grenadiers, trying to whittle them down for the engagements to come. Engineers and Pyos kind of staring at each other over this little river right here. Pyos decide they're going to move in to engage behind this green cover. They should be able to take out those engineers, maybe even hop in that building. Yeah, that's what they're going to decide to do. Garrison that up and take out those NGs, push them back for the time being. VPs are neutral right now. That center one's not been captured. 2 squads of Volks hanging out in the center. And right now we've got 2 squads of rifles, 2 engineers, and a Jeep on the field. Did those engineers actually go down right there? While they were trying to cap, they may have gone down trying to cap the point. In this game, while you're capping, you actually take either increased damage or increased accuracy against you. I'm not quite sure exactly what the mechanics on that, but you're definitely more exposed while you're capping in this game. Anyways, we've got a Wehrmacht sniper on the field, and I think this is going to be a classic build, which we're seeing from WMDspanky, which is the infamous Volks Sniper MG. However, the Jeep is in on that sniper already. He's being super aggressive with his Jeep, moving right in on it. Sniper's going to move into that garrison, but he opens the door and falls before he can get into the cover of the building. That's a huge loss for WMDspanky right there. Spanky is probably reeling in defeat on that. The sniper is a huge engagement, or sorry, a huge investment rather. It's worth more than any of the single squads out on the field right now. They can be super effective, of course, but as of right now, that sniper came out. I think it maybe shot 1 or 2 rifles and then got eliminated by that Jeep. So this Jeep already doing great. That's its only kill, but boy was it worth it. Down goes some Pioneers as well. Spanky is not happy with that. Very unfortunate indeed. He's got an MG42 in the back. You can see there's a couple craters going off. I think I saw a mine go off somewhere over here at some point. But MG's going to sit up here, protect this cutoff point, and protect a flank. The American faction in general is a lot more mobile, a lot more aggressive it has to play against the Wehrmacht. The Wehrmacht tend to be more defensive and more, just more standoffish. In the late game, they can stall out and really do some damage as they buy their vet. That's something else that's different in this game from Dawn of War, whereas in Dawn of War, all squads level up and gain veterancy via combat. The Wehrmacht, of course, can purchase their veterancy and just have better trained troops that come onto the field ready for war, as opposed to the Americans who have to gain their veterancy via battle. So anyways, these rifles retreating through lots of fire might get out of there. They're in a bit of trouble, but it looks like they're going to escape behind those 2 squads of Volks. And in the meantime, it's a triple cap for the American player. After taking out that sniper and that pyro squad, Spanky is just looking really weak on map control right now. That Jeep's going to try to get in here and push these Volks around, keep them from getting in any sort of cover. Jeep's trying to fall back, but it's getting hung up on its own rifles. Oh, nice Panzerfaust right there, obliterating that Jeep. A nice win. That's definitely something Spanky needed. In the meantime, MG's going down right there, point blank in front of that MG, and these rifles also getting heavily outgunned and go down! Oh my goodness, go down to those 2 squads of Volks. The engineers did, in fact, get out of there. There's a medic tent back here, which will allow medics to run out, pick up fallen soldiers, and take those back. Once 6 of those go in, they'll be able to get a new full rifle squad for free onto the field.
We hold the initiative.
So that's gonna actually help out a little bit with that early rifle squad loss. Spanky really got a nice win right there. He needed that after losing those 2 squads very early on. But he's still pretty far behind in VPs already. Some Grenadiers on the field. Took a mine hit, but still have all their members down to about half health, though. And those mines, I mean, mines are very prevalent in this game. Well-placed mines can easily win games. You hear it said all the time in shoutcasts and replays and that sort of thing, is that in top-tier games, it's all about mine placement and mine sweeping, protecting your flanks with mines and all that sort of thing. NG's getting very aggressive and go down again. That's a 3rd squad here suddenly. The rifles, the Jeep, and now those engineers that have gone down for PanzerGrenadier1942. Perhaps, I mean, that maybe is what happens when you play Americans with a name like PanzerGrenadier1942. So early bars on the field coming out here and really going to be giving those rifles an edge. The bars themselves, of course, very powerful weapons. But with that war gear upgrade, it's upgraded back at the base and automatically upgrades all your rifles to bars. And that'll really help them out against the Volks and Grenadiers that are on the field right now. Pack is out. Of course, we have the Kriegs Barracks up, a Tier 2 building up for the Wehrmacht. Supply Depot is up for the Americans, but no tech beyond that. I'm sure we'll probably be seeing a motor pool here shortly, and if I were to guess, I mean, he has the fuel for it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an M8 come in here shortly. The Wehrmacht player has not had the kind of fuel income that the American has. Right now, map control is pretty well in favor of the American, I feel. Obviously, as far as the VPs, but the resources are doing pretty well in his favor as well. This MG is kind of in a tricky spot. It's not really in any position to open up. And oh my goodness, look at the crits on that flamethrower, taking out that MG completely right as it tried to retreat. Oh my goodness. Oh, the flamethrower just obliterated that MG squad. It's Spanky keeps losing these advantages he's been getting either by unfortunate happenstance or just a little bit off on his play right now. Rifles get pushed back, but these bars are coming in, and there's a level 1 infantry vet right now for the Wehrmacht. They've purchased level 1 vet, but it's not going to... All that really does is even it out a little bit against these bars. Another squad of Pyos goes down. Volks Grenadiers trying to do what they can to scare off the rifles. Engineers, Flamer Engineers, once again looking like they were a bit too overzealous. Trying to push back there. Medics picking up some more riflemen, trying to take them back to the medic tent and get them back on the field. However, these Grenadiers are moving in. Probably not going to allow that. Oh my goodness, he's just trying to take his fallen comrade home. Is he going to make it? I don't know. Oh, what a sad story. Oh dear. I always feel so bad attacking medics. Both sides have access to like a medic bunker style structure, but I know it's a game and it doesn't matter, but I always feel so bad when I kill those medics. It's just heartless. It's heartless. They're unarmed. They're just trying to help the wounded. Here comes another medic. Those Grenadiers are probably going to take him out too. They can't actually focus fire him down while they're capturing that point though. In the meantime, that Pack 38's hanging out, and there is a motor pool out. We hear defensive operations and see that howitzer shot right there. So we can see that the American player has decided to go for the infantry company, which will allow him to have lots of howitzer artillery either on map or off map, give him access to rangers later on in the off map combat group, and defensive operations, which we just heard was activated, will allow his rifles as well as his engineers, but primarily also his rifles to lay mines and defensive on the field emplacements. So 495 to 258, Spanky definitely feeling some serious VP pressure. He has plenty of time to bring it back. The longer the game goes, the stronger Wehrmacht gets. There's a bunker way back here, maybe protecting... Oh, well, you know what? This bunker is probably going to get upgraded to a medic bunker. That's why it's behind those hedgerows. It's not meant to be used offensively. I'd be willing to bet we'll see that get upgraded to a medic bunker. And then for every 4 models that medics brings back to the bunker, Spanky will get himself a free Grenadier squad. Grenade going down over there by those rifles, easily dodged. Rifles gain themselves a stripe of veterancy. You can see on each of these squads, you see right above their little HP bar, you can see how many stripes of vet they have. And American veterancy, as I mentioned, can't be purchased, but in the long run, it tends to be much more powerful. Once rifles hit vet 3, there's some of the nastiest infantry on the field. They get a huge damage buff. And man, we can see, here comes the Greyhound, already upgraded with its armored skirts, now getting its 50 cal gun up on top. Rifles and M8 are not going to allow these medics to get out of there, I don't think. Oh my goodness, popped right up into the air. And yeah, that's definitely something you don't want to do, is let that medic bunker run around unabated for too long, because as those Grenadiers start stacking up against you, it's just going to make it very difficult. American medic tents are pretty useful as well, but as I mentioned, since they can't purchase their veterancy and bring those rifles out and increase veterancy and much stronger, it's not normally anywhere near as deadly or as dangerous as those Wehrmacht medic bunkers tend to be. So, anyways, let's see. Oh, here comes the off-map artillery shot. One lands right on top of that pack. Doesn't hit much else, though. It all managed to take out one of those models. In the meantime, this Greyhound's running around harassing and marauding across the map, hitting all these Grenadiers and Volks. Down bottom, there's a little decapping going on with some Volks Grenadiers. That pack gun is looking for a way to get on this M8. The M8's moving right up behind it. Oh my goodness, and it's going to place a mine right underneath of the pack. It turns around to open fire, but the mine goes off, obliterates the gun and the crew. The medic bunker's definitely been spotted. What a nice play with that Greyhound. Oh my goodness. That pack was out there to counter the Greyhound that was bought nice and early, and all it did was get obliterated by an M8 mine. Those M8 mines are extremely powerful. They cost twice as much munitions as a normal mine, but boy, are they worth it. This medic bunker is going to be in a lot of trouble now. Probably going to be going down. In the meantime, Volks are going to keep that lower VP and try to stop this VP bleed finally, now that Spanky is down by about 250 VPs. MG setting up behind these flamers, going to try to keep them from taking out that medic bunker. That medic bunker is going to be really essential at this point, considering how much Spanky has lost in this point of the game. Flamers are moving in to deal with that MG. It's in green cover, so it's going to take lots of damage from those flames if they start going off. However, the NGs retreat. They did get a mine down over here, but that medic bunker looks like it's going to survive, especially with a Panzer Shrek Grenadier squad moving in to deal with this M8. Does some nice damage to the rear armor of that thing, but it is going to get out of there without much issue. There's a 57 AT gun on the field for the Americans as well. Motor pool's up and ready to deal with any of that. And all is quiet for the time being. M8's looking for some more trouble to get into it. Knows something's down here capping. If it can deal with these Volks while they're down here capping this fuel point in that red cover, it's going to be able to take them out pretty quickly. It just needs to be careful of any Faust that might show up. Although it's pretty easy to spot the animation once that ability gets activated and kite away. So another Pax on the field, in position and cloaked. Pax can actually hide their position until they fire that first shot, and that first shot actually does a good deal of bonus damage. Grenade up here on these rifles, spotted just in the nick of time. One man goes down, but a nice long arm throw there from the Grenadiers, forcing that squad back. So Spanky's finally managed to get some control here on the field.
Lines are collapsing.
He needs to get a few more squads out here, though, to deal with the kind of rifles that are out here right now. The rifles have been betting up pretty nicely so far, keeping up with Wehrmacht bet 1-to-1 right now. Although, just as I say that, the second stripe pops for the Wehrmacht infantry, and that's going to make those Grenadiers a bit more dangerous. So MG, Pack in the center, watching that central VP. Some capping going on down bottom. Only action's happening up top right now. Another grenade going down right in the middle of those rifles. Picks off two more members to escape. Another nice win, keeping that map up top out of the American hands. Spanky doing a great job of that. MP40's upgraded on this Volks Grenadier squad, which will give these Volks some pretty nasty close-range firepower. Those SMGs, those MP40s can really shred through rifles and engineers if they get into close range, and we're going to see that right here. A grenade goes down, scares them off, but we can see even in that short time of that engagement, those rifles lost 3 members. And oh, we have a Wehrmacht mortar way back here behind this hedgerow. Mortar's actually pretty good in this map, I feel, because of the way it's set up. There's so many sightline blockers and hedgerows like that around this kind of central battlefield, especially on the Wehrmacht side right there, that they're pretty easy to keep out of harm's way. They're very frail, of course, if they get engaged, but so long as you keep them back there, it's not too bad. Another stripe of vet goes on those rifles, but they're very low, even though they're inside of that. Oh my goodness, they completely... Oh, eviscerated that squad right there. I believe that was just Grenadiers, that wasn't Volks. A mortar shot goes down just a second too late, however. Picks off another rifle that's coming in and actually might be saving that medic. The Flamer engineers are moving in on that medic bumper once again and stumble happily across a Pack AT gun right here. Gonna try to decrew that real quick, but those MP40s are gonna have something to say about that as they're moving into the retreat path of those engineers. Flamers trying to do what they can, but gonna get out of there with one model and successfully save all 3 members of the Pack squad. They're very low, but they're in a good position. And a nice job stopping that mortar shot right in the middle of those rifles. And with Wehrmacht infantry pouring in from that side of the map, they're going to have to get the heck out of there. Right now we can see this Greyhound heavily damaged, hanging back out in base, waiting for a patch job from some engineers. Spanky's doing a great job coming back into this game. Still down by lots of VPs, but really holding his own in these last couple engagements. Might have a reasonable chance at bringing this back, so long as he can hold the map and start locking things down. As the game goes on, Wehrmacht just gets more and more dangerous. Their Tier 4 armor very, very brutal. And so long as they can try to keep picking off some of these higher vet rifle squads, they can really keep the game even as far as veterancy goes as well, and eventually just pull ahead, as every squad they bring out will have their veterancy that they purchased. Rifles on the field now, which is a heavy elite infantry unit for the Americans. As you can see, they come with 2 bazookas, and I think these bad boys are already upgraded with their Thompson submachine guns, which makes them very nasty at close range. They find themselves a mortar, which instantly has to fall back. And in the meantime, the northern fuel has been decapped. Ranger's going to move in and put some pressure on this bunker with those 2 bazookas. They can make short work of it relatively quickly. Pack's still keeping an eye on the central point, watching for that Greyhound to show its face once again, as it's already been such a nuisance. And these Rangers might just have the time they need to take out this medic bunker. Grenadiers moving into the building. MG42 coming in from behind. They only need a couple more volleys of those bazookas to take out this med bunker. But instead they toss a grenade at those Grenadiers. Use fire up to get out from the suppression right there. I think it was a mistake trying to engage those. He should have just tried to continue focusing down this bunker. He doesn't have the ammunition right now for a howitzer shot. Another grenade goes down, forces off another squad. But once again, those Rangers are going to have to get out of there. That medic bunker survives by the skin of its teeth for a second time. However, while that's been going on, we can see Panzer Grenadiers going ahead and capping the outer portions of the map, getting the VPs back in his hands and getting some of these kind of mid-map resource points back into his clutches. Oh my goodness, what was that? Oh, that was the M8. It's back and it just took out an heavy machine gun, that MG42. Oh my goodness, look at the bits. Oh, that poor guy. He has an arm left, but that's it. Oh my goodness, I forgot there were bits in this game too. I do love the bits, and that Panzer Shrek certainly made quite a show of it. M8 already with 12 kills under its belt. Probably going to be hitting that second stripe here relatively shortly. However, there is a pack waiting for him to move up, and he's just kind of hanging out right by this hedgerow as if he knows that that's waiting there for him. I'm not sure if he spotted that at some point or what. Nice looking grenade over here. Now double striped riflemen, which made short work of those MP40 Volks Grenadiers. Moving more and deeper into Wehrmacht territory and decapping everything they can. Spanky still unable to get any sort of solid hold on this central part of the map. The VPs in general, he just can't seem to hold on no matter where he pushes. Rifle's been doing a great job. A little grenade tennis right there, back and forth. Both squads missed, but the Grenadiers realize they're going to have to get the heck out of there.
Just listen to that engine purr.
Mortar team still hanging out. Have 6 kills, not bad to start off. And oh my goodness, the Wehrmacht player has gone for its Panzer command and brought a Panzer IV onto the field. This is the start of that scary Wehrmacht Tier 4 that I was talking about. Once these heavy armor units start hitting the field, if the American can't deal with them without taking much loss, this starts becoming an uphill battle as things go on.
Enemy unit down.
Some sort of unit went down over here. The Rangers again harassing this medic bunker. They're continuously bringing models back though, and they're about to get another Grenadier squad. There it goes, it pops out right there. Volks hop out with their MP40s and are going to start pressuring these Rangers. Rangers decide to start firing at them, it looks like. Didn't quite hit the bunker. The bunker again survives. A grenade going down right in the middle of everything. And oh my goodness, take out 2 medics, I think, and either a Volks or a Grenadier. And then Ostwind's on the field here as well. Oh my goodness, this is not looking good suddenly for Mr. Panzer Grenadier. With both an Ostwind and a Panzer IV on the field, there's suddenly a lot of big scary armor. That Panzer is kind of a good all-around anti-infantry, anti-vehicle tank, and the Ostwind is just a nasty, nasty anti-infantry shredding machine. There's a tank depot out, and I just heard a Hellcat hit the field, so we're going to have a nice tank hunter on the field to help start dealing with this armor. Oh my goodness! Look at that gunner getting juggled on top of the armored car by those Ostwind shots. If this M8, I mean, I don't think there are any minesweepers on the field. If this M8 were to set up a couple M8 mines, maybe at like key locations around here or maybe back here, if he can push any of this back at some point, he could really catch this Axis armor out of position. He's got an absurd, he's got 75 munitions coming in, which seems pretty high. I guess he does have most of the high munitions points. So he's really going to be able to start dropping off-map shots and artillery whenever he can. Oh, that M18 is going in for the kill on that Panzer. It misses a shot. Both tanks miss their shots here. Flamer NG's in the building. Off-map going off on top of everything. 57's firing at that Panzer. Down it goes. The M18 does escape, but it's got a damaged gun. It's very low on health. Those Grenadiers are trying to finish it off, but it's not going to happen. Ostwind very low as well, and it looks like PanzerGrenadier might have done exactly what he needed to do. He finished off one of the tanks, ready to finish off the others. There are just so many Grenadiers coming out here, though. I'm not sure how many squads this medic bunker's brought in, but I feel like it's got to be at least 2 or 3 at this point. Vet 3 rifles and Vet 2 rifles moving in, and look at them just obliterate those Grenadiers. Medic's still doing some damage, though, and that Ostwind's not really as scared of rifles on their own. Of course, there are ranges around with bazookas, so he's got to be careful of that. Another nice shot, but the Pioneers are managing to keep it repaired enough. I don't even think these rifles have... I don't think they have stickies at all right now. And they're just sitting here taking fire from this Ostwind. They need to fall back before they lose many more models. The 57 anti-tank guns moved in. Gonna start pouring some more shots into the Panzer. Spanky's aware of it, though, and is moving back as necessary. Rifles getting very low. They're gonna have to be very careful. You don't want to lose these high-vet rifles at this point in the game. That's pretty much what's going to keep them in the game. Another off-map howitzer salvo is coming in here shortly. Half-track's hanging back because it's very beat up. Off-map doesn't look like it's going to be able to finish off this bunker on its own. And this half-track's moving right into everything. Oh my goodness, it just barely gets through that off-map shot. Oh, I spoke too soon. It goes down to the final shell of that off-map howitzer. Oh my goodness. I don't think there's an on-map one at all yet. No, there is not. All the injured vehicles of the American back here in his base getting fixed up. 69 to 413. Spanky, it's looking pretty dismal, all things considered. He lost his Panzer IV. He's got plenty of infantry on the field, but with those Vet 2 rifles, one Vet 2, one Vet 3, and those Rangers actually with... Do they have an MP44? Is that what that is? Or is that just the Thompson symbol? That doesn't look like a Thompson, though. But man, all is quiet for the time being. We've got a brief reprieve. There's some gunfire somewhere. I don't know where it's at, though. I heard it, but all is quiet. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This, alright, so just as I was saying, it looks a bit dismal for Mr. Spanky. This is the King Tiger, the master tank. This is close to a Baneblade, as you're going to see in Company Heroes. But this thing can be a game changer in itself. So PanzerGrenadier is really going to have to focus on trying to do some heavy damage to this thing and finishing it off before it really gets too much infantry support out here. Ostwind is what's going to be the focus, and as well it should be. Down it goes, gets the kill at the cost of his M18 Hellcat, however, but I think that's a kind of reasonable trade, all things considered. Now the only armor he has to deal with is this big, mean King Tiger. Those Vet 3 rifles and Vet 2 rifles moving in. Another Grenadier squad pops out of that medic bunker. Oh my goodness, did that King Tiger is just obliterating infantry. Those rifles need to get out. They need to get out. Don't lose those Vet 3 rifles. Another squad pops to Vet 3. Run away! Oh, and one goes down, didn't it? Oh my goodness, he stayed in much too long. Oh, that was very silly. There's no reason he needed to lose that squad. I'm not sure why he was staying in there so long. Those Vet 3 rifles are what he needs to stay in the game. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just a fact. Just I mean, oh my goodness. As these Vet 2 Grenadiers keep flying out of that medic bunker, I mean, he needs those rifles to stay out here and really continue to beat away at them. Spanky's lost so much. I mean, the medic bunker's really keeping him in the game. I'm surprised we haven't seen another howitzer come on the field and just continuously barrage that thing till it goes down. Pioneer's getting a good cap. It's now a triple cap against PanzerGrenadier, and this King Tiger and this medic bunker are pretty much everything that Spanky's got right now. So long as he can keep those two on the field and keep pumping out Grenadiers. I mean, he's got at least 3-4 squads of them. I think he only ever bought one. But right now he's got at least 4 squads of Grenadiers. M8's still out here. Gonna start tearing up some Pioneers that are trying to cap some fuel. I'm not sure if they're gonna get out of here. Let's see if he makes that final shot. He misses right into the water.
Ready to roll.
16 kills on that M8 though. Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Tank crew ready. Squad.
If this King Tiger is going to continue being a pain, Spanky's, I mean, he's bringing it back. He's got a shot, but he's going to need to hold on pretty much the rest of the game onto these VPs. If he loses them for a couple minutes at this point, I mean, that's going to be it. So King Tiger lining up some shots, going to start pouring fire into everything. The King Tiger, I mean, it deals infantry damage, it deals heavy armor damage. I feel like these rifles must still not have stickies. I haven't seen any go down. And there needs to be, I thought there were 2 57s on the field. Maybe one of them went down here at some point. But he probably needs another one. He's down to 2 rifle squads. One of them is Vet 3 at least still, and he's got some Rangers and a couple Flamer NGs. That was just the truck here, the neutral truck getting exploded right there by the King Tiger. That Greyhound needs to be very careful where it goes. I mean, there's so much munitions income that I really feel like that M8 could probably stand to put down a couple defensive M8 mines here and try to make sure that King Tiger doesn't push up too far, but it really doesn't need to. All it needs to do is watch this center VP and make sure no one caps it. So King Tiger got fixed up, getting ready to move back in for another push, see what it can do. It looks like there was an off-map combat group called in. MGs, rifles, and a 57. Not too good, unfortunately. When you activate the off-map combat group, it costs 800 manpower and it gives you 4 random squads, anything from rifles on up to Shermans. And really, if you see no tanks in your off-map combat group, it's kind of disappointing.
Losing ground out there.
Anyways, this King Tiger is falling back. It realizes it doesn't want to be out here. A lot of people get super aggressive with the King Tiger, get it lost in enemy territory, and then it just gets outnumbered and outgunned and goes down. But really, when it's used defensively like this, like it should be, like, there's no way it's ever gonna die. Oh no, the hero M8 with 3 vet stripes needs to fall back before it takes any more Shreks or gets in range of that King Tiger. Look at all these Grenadiers, just so many Grenadier squads, all with 2 stripes. You hear that 30 cal heavy machine gun firing right there, but the Grenadiers just walked right behind it. American MGs do, I believe, more damage but less suppression, something like that.
Enemy unit down.
I'm not sure of the exact numbers of that sort of thing. Oh my goodness! Grenadier squad goes down that was hiding inside of this now collapsed ruined building, leaving a Panzerschreck actually hanging out over the side of the rebel there. He does pick it up. He doesn't want the Americans to get a hold of that. Now he's got a nice double Shrek Grenadier squad right there. In the meantime, we've got more Grenadiers over here. I mean, there's just Grenadiers everywhere. There's just unlimited Grenadiers. There's at least 4, might be 5 squads out now. And it's just so much infantry for the American to deal with in combination with this King Tiger. Like, I mean, that's only one piece of armor, but really, what else do you need? Double Panzerschreck Grenadiers scaring off that M8. It's still hanging back there, constantly putting in fire. And that's exactly how it needs to be used. You don't want it right in the thick of things, but it's quick, it's mobile, and does really nice damage output. So long as you can keep that thing constantly firing, it makes a big difference. Right now it's got a tank kill and 21 infantry kills, so not a bad M8 at all. Got its 3 vet stripes. It's got to be careful though, that King Tiger is only going to need a shot or 2 to take it out. 62 points right here. It looks like VP's finally going to change hands here back into Mr. PanzerGrenadiers, and all he has to do is hold it for a couple minutes, and it's going to be looking pretty rough now for Mr. Spanky. This King Tiger is hesitant to push up. It knows there's plenty of AV hanging out back there. Those rifles need to get back, down to 2 models. Oh my goodness, I was afraid he was going to lose them once again. Those King Tiger shots can plaster, you know, several infantry in one shot depending on where it lands, so you really have to be very aware of where those tanks are firing at your high vet infantry. This AT gun with 2 stripes of vet, not bad. They actually do really nice damage once they get vetted up, but it's so rare to see a high vet AT gun because they're just so very vulnerable to infantry. Yeah, you can see these double vet Grenadiers just kind of walking through this MG fire, not getting suppressed. 50 points now. Oh my goodness, why are these guys capping the fuel? There's no reason to cap that fuel. Cap that VP. Oh, we have Knights Crossholders coming in. Super elite infantry, 3-man squad. And they're just going to shred these rifles that are sitting out here capping this point. Oh, if he had just captured that VP, this game might be near over. But it looks like Spanky's going to draw this out a bit more. Here comes another off-map shot. Oh my goodness, obliterates an entire squad. Leaves 1 member of the Volks going. I think that's the last Volks squad on the field. Oh, 277 to 43. And, I mean, it's still anybody. I mean, both players really bringing their top game right now. That medic bunker is just constantly allowing Grenadiers to reinforce. I mean, PanzerGrenadier needs to focus that thing down. No more tanks on the field for the time being, I don't think. Oh no, that M8 went down, it looks like. Poor hero M8. Very unfortunate. Rifles capping wherever they can. But really, oh no, they're going to go down. They're unvetted, so it's probably not a big deal. He may even wanted to have lost those so he can get himself another off-map combat group here, because he is approaching the necessary manpower to do so. 87 now income as far as
Germans are seizing territory.
Oh, he actually has his munitions post observation posts on both of his munitions, allowing him to get that extra munitions income and drop those off-map shots more often. I'm still kind of surprised we haven't seen a on-map howitzer, but in the meantime, double Shrek Grenadiers are going to come down here and obliterate this observation post, take it down to its original 16 income. Another bunker going down up here on the central VP, and that's what he's got to do. Spanky knows all he has to do at this point is hold these VPs. We're approaching that point in time. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're approaching that point in time that the Wehrmacht are just going to start kind of pretty much outmoding the Americans. Like, there's just not going to be too much they can do once those infantry start hitting their triple vet stripes. And with this King Tiger out here, there's no American army that can deal with this on its own. These 257s should be able to take down that bunker pretty handily. But the King Tiger's moving back in to help scare off these rifles. And again, you can see he's kind of just keeps that King Tiger back. He keeps it back, fixes it up at any time it takes any sort of damage, and then only moves it up whenever he needs to. His rifles were so close to capping the point, but they're the triple vet ones. He can't sacrifice them for the cap at this point. But oh my goodness, the game is, the game is so close. Spanky can win or lose this, you know, at any point here. These Rangers trying to launch some bazookas into that bunker right now. This 57 cal kind of pointed the wrong way. I mean, as far as he knows for right now, like the only armor on the field is that King Tiger. So long as he can keep track of where that was, he can really use those 57s to pound away at these bunkers. And this one, the medic bunker is no longer even protected by the hedgerows. So if he can manage to somehow push up, grab the central VP, and then just get those AT guns pointing right at the Wehrmacht base,
We're losing the munitions sector.
he can finish off that med bunker. But that med bunker's been such an amazing boon right now to Mr. WMDspanky, and just entirely kept him in the game. Floating huge amounts of manpower right now. That anti-tank gun is moving way up there, trying to deal with that MG bunker. Lots of rifles supporting, gonna try to take out those Knights crossholders. They managed to finish them off. Very nice right there. But that anti-tank gun, I think, is going to go down. If another Shrek goes on, it's going to destroy the weapon itself. If you notice, these setup teams all have a specific, they have an infantry health bar and a vehicle health bar, so the vehicle itself can get destroyed. So there's another Ostwind out here once again.
Our supply lines are being threatened.
And seeing that the rifles were doing pretty much all the work here recently, I mean, if that Ostwind doesn't go down here shortly, that could be the nail in the coffin for Mr. PanzerGrenadier. He's been doing a great job holding on at this point in the game, but there's just, I mean, there's just too much infantry at any given time here for him to really hold on. There's an M18 Hellcat out on the field now as well. Another gun coming on here. He did use the off-mat combat group. And it looks like another rifle squad is about to get brought out here as well. I mean, those rifle squads that do come out from the medic tents, I mean, they're not as useful because they're not bedded up, but they certainly allow him to cap, and that's really all he needs to do at this point is get a few good VP caps, and he can close this game out. Nice looking grenade over on this side of the map. He's got so much munitions that he's able to just kind of spam his grenades, although just as I say that, I look down at his tab and he's lost quite a few of his munitions points. He's down to an income of plus 23, when earlier in the game he was at a solid plus 75. MG bunker in the center goes down. That's the first step in securing the central VP. Tigers firing away at those rifles, but they're going to go ahead and just suicide themselves on that point. They're not overly concerned with that Tiger at all. The Sherman's on the field, and oh my goodness, is that... Oh, why is that a croc? Why did he buy a croc? I don't know. Is it to deal with the masked grenadiers? I guess, but the thing that's keeping him in the game is this King Tiger and this Ostwind. It's not all the grenadiers. He can deal with the grenadiers. He has the rifles to push back the grenadiers when he needs to. But this crocodile is just... I don't think that's what he needs. Oh my goodness, the M18 goes down to Shrek Grenadiers. This is that double Shrek squad that picked up the Shrek from the fallen squad in that building. Crocodile Sherman's moving in to try to deal with this infantry. They spot it and just decide to fall back. I don't think they realized it was a croc right away either. I mean, it's just an odd choice. I know in Sunday Night Fights recently, a couple weeks ago, we saw a couple crocodiles put to amazing use, but I just think right now this is not the time that he needs that. He needed a couple tank destroyers or just a Sherman on its own to assist in pushing back this King Tiger and possibly take out this Ostwind. Like, if he can take out that Ostwind, he can a lot more easily single out that King Tiger. But I don't know. We'll have to see what this Croc Sherman does. It's just a curious choice indeed.
Looks like we fight today.
Oh, another MG bunker set up on this point up here. We can see a bar drop, so maybe it actually took out a capping squad up there. Kind of sneaky. Really force. I mean, if anything, that crocodile should go up and deal with that bunker on its own right there, instead of trying to deal with this armor that can push it off so very easily. It's doing a reasonable job of keeping the Grenadiers off the point. Oh my goodness, down goes another rifle squad. Big shot from that King Tiger. I think, wow, look at that thing. It's already got 32 kills, a tank kill, and a light vehicle, which I'm assuming was that M8 that I missed going down. Those Vet 3 rifles need to run right now before that King Tiger takes another shot. MG 30 cal, doing lots of damage. Look at those AT guns, both pouring fire into that King Tiger, and those shots are just bouncing off. Finally got a couple penetrations right there. If anything, oh my goodness, down goes the crocodile. That's a huge investment, and what a waste. Those AT guns still pouring fire in. Another sticky goes off. Oh my goodness, look at that man fly off of that AT gun, collapse and plops down right there. We need an off-mat Howie shot, but he doesn't have it. I'm still surprised he never bought himself an on-mat howitzer. I mean, he's got so much manpower and fuel, he could certainly do it. And just kind of spam artillery on the points and kind of keep this game going until he can deal with this King Tiger. It's pretty low right now, but there's 2 squads of Pioneers just hanging out back here, ready to fix it up and take it out. Putting up another bunker, just relentlessly playing this kind of tower defense nasty game right here. Finds his points and just locks them down. 228 to 32. I mean, PanzerGrenadier is still whittling away at these VPs, but it's looking more and more dire as the game goes on. I'm not sure if that also, no, it did not go down. Rifles throwing stickies back here, but it's not making much of a difference. Mortar in the backfield, dropping some shots onto that bunker. Gonna try to take that out relatively shortly here. There's a bar sitting right back here. I'm surprised those Grenadiers haven't picked that up yet. But I mean, there's just a constant flood of Grenadiers everywhere. Now moving in on the AT guns and this mortar team back here. It looked like at first he wasn't even concerned about it, but then he decides to pull those mortars back anyways. Rifles get a stripe of it as they hit the retreat. Ostwind scares them off pretty easily. There's a second Ostwind and a bunker on the top point. I mean, oof. This looks brutal. Spanky's, I think, in a very good position suddenly. Triple vet rifles now moving into position. But that Ostwind is actually destroying the AT vehicles, taking out these 57 AT guns while it has the opportunity to do so. And that's something that a lot of players overlook, that they have that opportunity. After you decrew it, take it out if you don't want it to come back on the field. Like, if you got the opportunity, kill that gun.
We're down to 200 points.
Main gun on that Ostwind destroyed. It's pretty beat up. Rifles just need to drop a quick sticky on it. There it goes! We're gonna see the countdown right there to its demise. And boom! Grenadiers go flying out the top. Oh, I do enjoy this game. One of my favorite things about Company Heroes is it's very intuitive and visceral. Like, whereas in Dawn of War you kind of have to know a lot more about what's going on with all the different alien races and crazy space weapons and all that fancy, wacky technology. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy I enjoy sci-fi more than I enjoy World War II, but it's nice to just kind of have a game like this where anyone can just tune in and pretty much see what's happening. It's like, alright, I see tanks and, oh, bazookas and AT guns are going to explode tanks. Alright, that makes sense to me. Heavy machine gun guns are going to suppress infantry and cause them to take some morale damage and just crawl on their bellies and be terrified. Bunkers are only going to die to explosives. It's just nice having a game that you can just see and know what's going on instantly. It's all real-world weapons. It's all stuff that people are generally familiar with. Anyways, the lockdown kind of continues as Spanky's just holding on to all these VPs. Rifles spot that bar and take it for themselves. I guess they're going to try to throw a sticky, but really Vet 1 stickies aren't going to do anything to a KT. They need to get out of there before they drop those bars again. This King Tiger just has a dedicated crew of 4 pioneers that are just hanging out, constantly fixing it up. It's just about back to full health again. All these Grenadiers moving back up. I think there was a Volks in there. Yeah, 1 Volks squad left. Oh my goodness, and it's got 48 kills on that Volks squad from the beginning of the game. Squad preservation, very important in this game, especially for Americans, as I've mentioned. But of course, in Dawn of War, if you lose a few squads, it's pretty much game. But in this game, it's a lot more likely you can come back from losing a squad or 2. Man, and this battlefield's just pocked with craters and explosions. Crushed and collapsed buildings. Ostwind hanging out up top. There's a Sherman on the field now. A little bit of heavy cavalry in for the Americans. Grenadiers finally taking out one of those medic bunkers. MG's going to try to open fire, but there's a King Tiger going in for the kill right there. Sherman can't do anything. It's on the far side of the hedgerow. If anything, like I said, I think he should go up top. Panzer Grenadier should go up top and try to force the Wehrmacht to split up their forces. The Ostwind Flak Panzer and the MG bunker can't deal with the Sherman on its own. He'd have to send either the Shrek'd up Grens up there or something like that to deal with the threat of the armor up top. But right now it looks like he's just kind of unsure which direction he wants to go right now. King Tiger's slugging along, kind of caught in the water there briefly. And there it goes, gets out, pushing up way into enemy territory. Rangers moving in on it in the meantime.
Losing a munitions point.
Mortar's still pecking away at this bunker, but there's Pioneers nearby to fix it up. More Grenadier squads coming out.
Down.
Double Shrek Grens coming in after this Sherman. 128 to 32. I mean, the time's coming to a close that I think the Panzer Grenadier is going to be able to bring this one back. It's getting shorter and shorter, that VP lead that he has. Vet 3 infantry finally pops. All these Grenadiers are just going to be nasty, nasty now. Just excellent, strong units. Going to have great damage output. Going to have strong elite infantry armor. And with those Shreks, they're just going to be able to deal with these tanks pretty handily. They're just chasing the Sherman around. The Sherman's firing away at them, but managing to take out a couple extra ones right there. But man, look, bars, MGs, just weapons lying everywhere to be picked up and captured by the opposing side. Sherman's trying to do what it can, but I mean, this King Tiger's just pushing in on it. There's nothing that's going to be able to do about it. This is probably going to be the best opportunity to deal with this King Tiger right here. Rifles moving in. 94 to 32, a 2-0 cap against Panzer Grenadier. King Tiger's falling back at about 2/3 health. Another bazooka shot goes in right there, but they're not going to be able to stick around and finish that thing off at all. With that third stripe of Vet. Third stripe of Vet. A little dyslexia for you there. On these Grenadiers now, I mean, it's just... This is not where you want to be as Americans. Vets just constantly doing their duty. Never falling back, never yielding in the face of rifle fire.
Weapon crew reporting casualties.
Down goes the weapon crew again for the 57. Those poor medics tirelessly doing their jobs. Now a medic picking up a medic, taking him back home. Needs more medics. Bit of a yo-dog situation there. Heard you like medics. 74 to 32, and Panzer Grenadier's just, I mean, he's desperate at this point. He needs to get back here. Rifles, Vet 3 rifles getting very low. It looks like they're going to get out of there. King Tiger even misses his shot. Very fortunate right there. Off-map artillery barrage coming down. Gonna be able to take out that bunker, but there's still lots of Vet 3 infantry hanging around this King Tiger that he needs to deal with. He's been not, as the game's progressed, he's just not been able to keep up his anti-tank guns. The Sherman's trying to struggle and stay in the game. Again, I feel like it would do better to go up top and just kind of avoid the KT and force it to move away from this central point. But without these AT guns staying crewed, the King Tiger can kind of roll around, do whatever it feels like. It's, again, about a 2/3 health, but, I mean, it takes so long to take the damn thing out. It's just not really that scared of anything. American mortar grabs itself a striper that has 9 kills on it right now, but that mortar alone isn't going to be able to take the point. I mean, the map's just slowly been turning more red. Sherman finally goes up top to deal with this bunker and this Ostwind. The Ostwind will eventually do damage to the Sherman, but the Sherman, if it just focuses it down, will be able to deal with it without much issue. Down goes another 57 crew. Grenadiers can practically just ignore a squad of rifles or two at this point and just run up and kill 57 crews at their leisure. It's very unfortunate. Look at all this infantry all over the place. King Tiger just, I mean, it's ever since it's come out, it's changed the game. It's done exactly what it needed to do. It's stayed out, been that big indestructible wall, and just completely prevented the American forces from taking any map after he got it down. The VPs are practically even now from previously Spanky being down by about 300 VPs. It's really crazy what this King Tiger's done so far. Oh my goodness, and just as I mentioned that, it obliterates another Ranger squad. I think this one might just about be done.
Enemy unit down.
Vet 3 Volks finally retreating. Is that the hero Volks squad that's taken out so many Americans? One member left on this MG squad, getting the cap right there. 27 to 32. There's not much time left. I just don't think that PanzerGrenadier is going to be able to do it. Ostwind's moving back in now with 2 stripes of tank vet on it. However, it's about to get obliterated by a 57 and a Sherman. I mean, this is how tank battles normally go. Still firing as it's out of control. It normally doesn't take too long to take out a tank. Oh my goodness, those guys go flying. But this King Tiger is just absurd. It's actually a global tank that can only be brought in once. If it goes down, you can't even repurchase it, even with your global abilities. But man, propaganda war being used to stop that cap. That is an ability of the Terror Doctrine, of course. You can drop that to force retreat a squad at any given time. Sherman taking lots of Shrek fire now as those mass Grenadiers. Look at that, 5 squads of Vet 3 Grenadiers. Now getting forced off by some off-map artillery. He says, you've got propaganda war, I've got something equally as convincing. I'll just throw some giant artillery shells at your men, and I bet you that's scary too. But oh no. The central point's captured. King Tiger taking lots of fire, but I'm pretty sure these Grenadiers are going to be able to take out both of these. Yep, King Tiger took out one. Grenadier grenade takes out the other. And that's the lowest I think that King Tiger's been all game. 10 points going down. Time is ticking away, and there's just nothing the PanzerGrenadier is going to be able to do. Pulled another off-map combat crew, bringing some Greyhounds onto the field. Gonna just try to circle around and deal with this King Tiger. Maybe drop a mine on its butt or something like that. 6 points left. Oh no, there goes the propaganda war once again. That was the last chance, was to cap the point with those Rangers. But it's just not going to happen. King Tiger about to go down, but I think the game's going to end before it goes. The last couple points ticking away, and the King Tiger is going to survive. Oh my goodness. Look how low it is. It was going to die. It was finally going to die, but it does not. And Spanky takes the game, and just, I mean, this King Tiger just came out and with some real panache just seals the deal. Look at that gunner. I would not want to be that gunner right now. That gun is just point blank. He's just going to inject that shell right into that Greyhound. Oh, dear. So anyways, the King Tiger. I want to look at that King Tiger. Oh, my goodness. Look at that King Tiger. 79 infantry kills, 2 tank kills, and a light vehicle kill. That's the game changer right there. That is a game changer indeed. Spanky really brought it together. I mean, didn't lose his composure at all despite losing so many squads and taking some pretty severe losses. And this shot just sums it up right there. Look at this infantry pile. Look at that. That's 5 squads of grenadiers. I'm pretty sure he only ever bought 1 of those. That's all thanks to the medic bunker, and then these Volks, which have 51 infantry kills. Oh my goodness, lots of them have plenty of kills, but these Volks did almost, I mean, comparable damage to a King Tiger, so excellent work from Spanky staying in the game despite that really rough start. PanzerGrenadier did everything he could and just got a bit too desperate at the end, couldn't break the King Tiger and just lost it all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. I know I sure as hell did. Feel free to comment, subscribe, talk about the game, talk about the commentary, the players, the strategy. I always appreciate it. Be sure to stop by my Facebook or Twitter, sign up, and let me know what game you're looking to win for my giveaway here next week. That's, of course, either FTL, Dawn of War, and, of course, the grand prize is a copy of Company Heroes 2 pre-ordered, ready with beta access that everyone's planning for. And I will be catching you guys next time. This was Red-Rupee. Thanks for watching.